Hey guys, a happy new year and long time no speak as well. This is currently the 1st of January when we're filming this video, and it's also been exactly a year since we decided to create our YouTube channel.
I actually feel so rusty.
Yeah, me
because
too.
it's been like a month since we filmed anything, so it kind of feels like the first ever video that we filmed, which was ironically right here this time last year.
Yeah, it's, oh god, like times have changed since then because we couldn't even get through filming a video without laughing.
Yeah.
Like we found it the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah.
At least now like we've got past that stage. But we just thought with this video being not only New Year's Day but also a celebration of 1 year with our channel, we thought we'd tie it all together and do some journal prompts. Some New Year's journal prompts. I know that this is probably going to go up probably a week or so after New Year's Day, but who cares? Like you can do prompts at any time of the year. You don't need to feel the pressure to do it like straight away anyway.
Yeah. I love a new year. I feel like it's got that like back to school feeling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna make it my best year. Like,
Yeah.
and it's silly because it's literally just another day, but for me, like it genuinely does feel like a fresh start.
We'll probably just talk through the prompts, but if you guys wanted to get a pen and a notebook and write things down and go through the prompts with us, then be our guest. Okay, so I've just searched New Year's Day prompts and this is the second one down. 22 intentional journal prompts for New Year's. So I've not really read through any of these. I think we should just wing it and just see what comes up.
Let's do it.
And we'll say like the first thing that comes to our mind as well.
Yeah, okay.
So the first one is, if the energy of your past year could be encapsulated by one word, what would that word be?
I could either go positive or negative with this because I feel like a lot of things I didn't achieve that I was hoping to in terms of like work and stuff, but then I also had more fun than I've probably had in any year. So maybe like hectic for me.
Hectic. I would say for me, growth, because I feel like growth encapsulates like the good and the bad.
True. Growth was the word that I actually wrote last year as like
really?
the word of the year for 2024. Like I wanted it to be growth, but I just don't know whether I've grown enough for that to be relevant.
I feel like I've grown a lot mentally.
True.
I think my word of the year was peace last year, or like tranquility or something like that, and that definitely didn't happen. Like that is always my word because like I just strive for like a peaceful life.
Same. And actually last year I started the year meditating every night and like manifesting and feeling really good, and I think I stopped in like February.
Yeah, it is really hard to like keep the habit of meditating. Like I actually find it easier to upkeep going for a run 3 times a week than I do meditating.
Same. I think it's because meditating you have to be in the right mindset to start with.
Yeah.
And if you're not, then you just can't be bothered.
Yeah. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, what were your big wins of the year?
I think for me, my big win was starting dance as an adult. I don't think that's something that I've ever talked about on the channel, but in the end of October, I started ballet and jazz class, and that is like completely foreign to both of us. Like we've never done that as a kid, apart from one ballet class. I think you did a few more than me.
Yeah, I did ballet for probably a year or 2.
Yeah, but I think we were like 5 or 6, so it doesn't
really count at that age, no.
And I actually think, apart from learning to drive, it's probably the most vulnerable thing that you can do as an adult, because it's like you're standing in front of these massive mirrors and like moving your body in ways that just like don't look good. Like if you've never danced before, don't expect to be amazing.
Yeah, and you're in a room full of like loads of other people as well, and some people might be better than you.
Yeah, so I think that's been really good as like helping me to stretch out of my comfort zone and be vulnerable. And it's also just been really fun. Like I was surprised by how fun it was.
So I think for me, there's a bunch of different things that I'm proud of myself for doing. Like one of them was to do with work and like asking for a promotion at work. Anybody that's done that knows how scary it is. Like it's just, you feel like an intruder.
Yeah.
So, no, an intruder's not a word, an imposter. You feel like an imposter. Yeah. So I'm proud of myself for doing that. Another big win was that I started running. I think that's like a really big achievement for me because I have never run in my life. And I think even in past YouTube videos, I've said that I'm not a runner. To get myself out of the house and to start running, which ironically that actually came about after we got our rhinoplasties because you can't lift weights at the gym. And yeah, I've just found like a massive passion for it, and now I do it 3 times a week. So
and I'm actually so happy that you've like found a joy for it as well, because I've been running for quite a long time before you. And I think there's this weird transition from like, if you've only ever ran at school and then you never run throughout the whole of uni for like years after that. And you always just think to yourself like, oh, I'm not a runner, like I don't like it, I don't like that feeling of being out of breath.
Yeah.
But there's this like surprising like shift that you have where like you just go for a jog and you're like, actually that felt really good, and it was really good for my mental health as well.
Yeah, I agree. And I think as well with running, it was only probably like the first few weeks that I struggled with it, and you do pick it up really, really quickly. I think when you master the breathing side of it.
And also making sure that you get like good energy in before you run, like that really changed things for me, just having a really good breakfast that was like going to energise me.
So the next question is, what were your small wins of the year? It's hard enough thinking about the big ones.
I know. I think my small wins is probably just like showing up for work, showing up for exercise. Like I'll usually do like either running or weight training or dance 5 days a week. And actually something that I've been working on is my flexibility, and that's something that I've never ever paid any attention to before. And like spending so much time sitting down, I feel like I've just lost all flexibility. So like this year I've been learning to do the splits, and that is a process.
Yeah.
Like before I could literally, my legs would just bend and they could go like this basically. And now like I've got to the point where they're like this.
You have to put your before and after pictures in so far, just like put an emoji over your face or something.
Yeah. And that's a small win. I think a lot of my small wins are just to do with like physical health, mental health as well. Like I've had a pretty good year mental health wise. Like I did get a little bit depressed in October, but then I started dance, which I've found that like the best way to like counteract depression for me is to do something outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So,
and also to move your body.
Yeah.
I think really, really helps. Yeah, I agree actually. I think that mental health, like managing my mental health, that's definitely been a small win for me this year. When you've got an anxious brain, it's really easy to get caught up in those anxious thoughts, and they can like ruminate and like spiral and get bigger and bigger. And I feel like it's actually like it's a really big challenge when you have anxiety to be able to like step aside from those thoughts and to like think about things rationally. And that's something that I've been like really, really trying to do, especially in the second half of the year. I think in the winter, like everybody just struggles a bit more.
Yeah.
Especially when you're going into winter and you know that the end's not in sight for a long time.
For me, like clockwork, it's end of October.
Yeah, I think with work as well, I'm proud of us for trying to start a new business and pushing ourselves out of a comfort zone and just learning new things and staying motivated. Okay, so number 4, this actually goes quite nicely on, is what were your challenges from this year, from last year?
I think my biggest challenge came from the fact that I had a lot of like work related ambitions at the start of the year that just didn't pan out. And actually, to be honest, one of them was growing this YouTube channel into something bigger than it's become. Like we have 300 subscribers roundabout at the moment, which is amazing. Like still, the fact that anyone subscribes to us is just crazy to me.
Yeah, it feels so much more special than any other platform, because it's like people know you on a more personal level and they like what they're seeing.
Yeah.
So it just feels like a massive compliment.
Yeah, and we always wanted to grow organically, but I think I was just kind of like negatively surprised by like how slow the growth actually is.
Yeah. The thing with us is that we'll never do like clickbaity videos, and we'll never like pay to like have our videos like boosted or whatever it is you can do.
And we don't script our videos in a way that it's like try and get the audience through like clever ways of writing. Like we just don't do that.
We're just ourselves.
Yeah.
But actually that's something that we didn't mention in our wins, is the rhinoplasty video. Like that one did really well. I think now it's like on like 12,000 views or something.
I think more.
Like
I think like 16,000.
Yeah.
And we get like really, really lovely comments on that from people saying that we've been like such a comfort, and that's exactly what we wanted to do.
Yeah, so I definitely think that's a win. We can't forget about that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to challenges, I think for me, it's probably just like I said before, it's probably just my anxiety. I feel like for some reason this year it just like skyrocketed. Now I'm in a better place, but I would say that's definitely like the biggest challenge of this year. When you are in your late 20s, we talk about this all the time, but like the pressure to have your life together. And life just sometimes feels a bit serious, and then you have to remember that we're literally just on a floating rock in the middle of the universe. Like it's not that deep. And like it always helps to think as well, it's quite a morbid thought, but it always helps to think that like everyone's gonna die anyway, so like just do it, like do whatever you want to do and like live your life for you, because like we're all gonna die. What do you need to shed or leave behind from this past year? I think just identifying unhelpful thoughts and not taking all of my thoughts so seriously, it doesn't serve any purpose apart from to stress me out.
I think for me, it's definitely to leave behind not doing things because of my anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, I want to feel anxious but do it anyway.
Yeah. Who were the most integral people in your life this past year? Just the usuals, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Each other. I feel like actually we have been really integral to each other this year because like we've done so many ventures together.
Yeah.
Like we've done this, we've done the business, travelled together, had the rhinoplasty together.
Yeah, and I think like the older we get as well, the better we are at like offering emotional support to each other. Because like at the end of the day, we go through like very similar feelings.
Yeah.
And I think that we're learning to like not try and therapize each other or judge each other, which is something that we used to do a lot. And now we're just like really integral for each other as like emotional support.
Yeah, agreed. I guess like family, like Milo and friends. Like I made some new friends this year on Bumble BFF, so that was an experience. Like that was getting out of my comfort zone, and yeah, they were quite integral to the end of my 2024. I keep forgetting the years. And then my cats as well. I know they're not people, but they are my co-workers. So okay, there's some that I'm gonna skip because they're just to do with things we've already covered. What are your health goals? Actually, that's something we can talk about, what our health goals are for this year.
Yeah.
I guess that's like physical and mental health, isn't it? For me, I want to carry on running 3 times a week. Like that's something that I've been doing since April, so I've actually been doing it for ages now. And I would actually quite like to start swimming again. It's just finding the time.
So like I said, I want to carry on with getting more flexible. Like if I could learn to do the splits, I don't know why that feels like such a big deal to me, but if I could just like drop down into the splits, that would just be amazing.
No, I do get it. Like it's just a cool party trick to have, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely want to work on my flexibility. I would also like to run another half marathon. And it would be cool if you would run it with me. I don't know if you feel like you're there yet, but...
To be honest, I think that I could do it. It's just like a nerve-wracking thought. But I would do it if it was like springtime and it's a little bit warmer. Because I've not been enjoying running in the winter.
It is very intense, but I feel like when you get to your late 20s, you just have to run a half marathon.
Yeah, I feel like it's happening to everybody.
Yeah.
Like everyone's either having kids or running half marathons at this age. Yeah, I think mental health wise, I would like to learn to say no to things. Like I feel like this year I've really put so much pressure on myself to say yes to everything. And I think as well, like now that I have a lot more friends in the area that I live, it can be hard to say no. But I think like finding the right balance between like being bored but then being overwhelmed is something that I'm going to try and do.
Yeah, I think my mental health goals are just the same as like what I've already really talked about. So it's just about stepping out of my comfort zone and doing things even if it makes me feel anxious, and knowing that like those anxious thoughts aren't actually doing anything valuable.
Ooh, okay. This is a bit personal, but I kind of like it. Regarding financial health, what practices did you implement in the past year that benefited you?
With my finances, it's funny because every year I will do a similar journaling thing to this. So before I did my journaling for next year, well this year now 2025, I look back at my 2023 journaling for 2024, and one of the things that I'd written in there was like, I want to get on top of my taxes because I'm self-employed. And this year I've had exactly the same problem as I had last year, maybe worse. So for me, I actually don't think I've done very well financially this year, if I'm going to be honest. I think that I've always been behind with paying my taxes, and it's just something that I've struggled to get my head around. But I think that I'm finally getting there now. I finally understand what I need to do. And also like I've had a bit of a shift with like what I'm doing work-wise as well. So hopefully 2025 is going to be a lot better for me financially. Touch wood.
So I think with me, I've actually had quite a good year financially, but haven't saved a lot of money. So that's something that I would like to do more of next year. But for this year, I've actually I created a spreadsheet, and it's like a really good way of managing the money that comes in and then the money that comes out. So it's basically categorised. I've got all my money that comes in, and then I have a category for the bills that come out every month. So those bills never change. It's like the mortgage, the rent, and like the council tax and things like that. And then I've got another section for random things that I might need to buy that month. So I'll kind of fill that in like a month by month basis, because like you don't really know in advance, but like holiday payments, and say for example if I want to do some clothes shopping or something, like those kind of bits go in there. And that's really helped me to keep on track with my money, because I never used to be good at managing my money. Like it's never been my strong suit, and I'm 27 now and I'm trying to save for a house, so I've just been taking it a lot more seriously. I've actually been really enjoying it. Like there's something so satisfying about having it all in a spreadsheet.
And I think when you're getting a consistent income as well, like you do with a salary, it is really easy to do that. It's a bit more difficult for me because my income can fluctuate from month to month, so it's kind of like I can't always have allowances for things that I want to spend my money on, and I have to just focus on like paying the bills sometimes. But for me, I don't even know what the question is anymore, but my goal for next year...
I mean, that was the next question, so let's go into that.
My financial goal for next year, apart from like just staying on top of my taxes, is we want to sell this house and buy another one and renovate it. Because basically we've been renovating this house for like the longest time. It was meant to be like a 1-year project. It's turned into 3 years because there was like so many things that we didn't expect. But we want to do it all again, but like a much easier project in the future. The eventual goal is that we can earn enough money from doing that we can move into a house and just pay the mortgage off straight away. Which like for both me and Brad, because we both freelance and we're both self-employed, that would be like such a weight off our chest. Like just knowing that we'd paid the mortgage and all we had to worry about was bills.
Okay, so this one is, what are your career goals for the coming year? And I think for me and you, we're at a bit of a crossroads at the minute, because last year we had quite a solid plan. So to be fair, we didn't actually get this plan together until about April time. It was after the rhinoplasty, but we had like a solid business plan. And anybody who knows anything about starting businesses, your first one doesn't normally succeed. And our business, even though like we're bringing traffic to the website, like it's definitely not like a massive fail, but we've just realised that like we need to move in a different direction now. But it's kind of just brainstorming at the minute. We're back to the brainstorming stage. It's kind of just figuring out what.
I think it is important to be honest about this though, because especially online you see a lot of people who've succeeded in something, and like the younger they are, the more stressful it feels as well when they've like really succeeded and got great business. I think the reality is like behind the scenes they might have had so many failures before they've reached the point that they're at.
You don't see the lows, do you? You just see like somebody with a successful business and they might be in the 20s and you're just thinking like, how have they managed to do that? Like, and my brain just goes to like, oh well, they must have had help from like a family member. Most people that have successful businesses have had multiple businesses in the past, and it's just about having like the resilience and the spirit to just keep going. In the meantime, like I have a salaried job, you have your freelance, and we're just going to continue on with that. And I think, to be honest, like one of my work goals is a little different from last year, because last year I was really pushing for like a promotion and recognition, and this year I just don't want to be overwhelmed.
I think I feel the same. Like last year my workload actually decreased quite a bit, and I think from that happening I realised like how overworked I'd been before, and it was actually quite nice to have less work. So I think I feel the same. I'm just kind of like, as much as I enjoy doing a good job for my clients, I also know now that work is not everything, and I don't have to get so stressed and anxious about every little thing that I do.
What is one big thing you're manifesting for this coming year? Make it something realistic to manifest within 6 to 12 months.
I was saying to you that I don't know whether I believe in manifestation, because I did a lot of it last year.
Can I just say, I think we're the only people on YouTube to ever say this.
So
I actually think, this is a hot take. Maybe we should do a video on it.
Maybe we should. But I did a lot of manifestation at the start of the year, and felt really, really positive about the things that I'd manifested. And I also put in a ton of work, which is meant to be like the secret to like success for manifesting. But none of those things panned out. So I think now I've changed my approach, and I'm allowed to have goals, but I no longer envision things happening, and I no longer have expectations, because when you actually picture something happening, it's very disappointing when it doesn't work out.
I also think that manifestation, it brings this element of like magical, like it's kind of like, you know, when you make a wish and it comes true.
Yeah.
It's kind of that kind of vibe. Whereas if we just take the logical approach of setting goals and trying to achieve them, I think that just works better for us. But for next year, it's difficult to at the minute set a really solid goal, because mine probably would be something to do with our business, but because we're still at the brainstorming stage, we can't exactly say, oh, in X amount of months we want to be here, because we don't know what that's going to look like yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't have any business goals.
I mean, maybe with our YouTube we can make a goal. Maybe like for the end of next year we could be 1,000 subs. I think that would be nice.
Good. Yeah.
Because we're on 300 right now, so I feel like that is quite a realistic goal if we stick at it.
Yeah.
So, final question is write down, it says 10 to 20 words, but I think we should write down 5 words, or well, we'll just speak them out loud, that we want for our 2025. So I'm going to use the word that I use every year, which is peace. Because everyone just wants a peaceful time. Like, I feel like you don't really need to explain that. It's the opposite of anxiety, so peace.
I also think joy, and I think joy is pretty self-explanatory as well.
Yeah. Success.
Yeah. Adventure.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was thinking something to do with travel. I think let's leave it there.
Yeah.
Because I think that quite nicely kind of describes the year that we want. Now that we're all done with our prompts, we thought we could use this time to talk about the direction that we want to take our channel in 2025.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have a few changes. It's not going to be like mega, it's just that we want to get more into vlogging. We really enjoy vlogging.
So I don't know, if any of you have been here since our very first videos, you have to leave us a comment below, because that would be so impressive. And we've actually like put a few of them on private now, but when we started this channel, it was supposed to be all about being identical twins, and we did so many videos about just all kinds of like niche things about being an identical twin, but we quickly realised that you can't create a channel specifically about being identical twins and have it last forever. Like, we were just running out of video ideas.
And something that we've really always enjoyed is vlogging, and especially travel vlogging. And to be honest, with the rhinoplasty video, I do think there is an element of like a travel vlog in that.
Me too.
Going forward, instead of us documenting surgeries, because that would get very expensive, we're going to be documenting our trips, because we do tend to go away quite often, because we are really, really big fans of travel, and it's like our favourite like genre to watch on YouTube, as it is.
Yeah.
So we have quite a few trips coming up this year, and we're really, really excited to vlog all of them. We're planning on vlogging and bring you guys along with us. And sometimes that'll be the both of us, or sometimes it'll be you and Brad, or me and Milo, because we're not always together. It might seem that way, but we're not. Like, sometimes we have separate holidays, and we thought it would still be a really nice thing to share and just like have the memories as well.
Yeah, so I think we are taking a bit of a different approach, because this year we wanted to commit to a routine. So the focus was we want to upload one video every week for the whole year, which kind of didn't happen.
No, I know.
But next year, or this year, because it's 2025 now, we really want to just focus on sharing content that we're like truly passionate about. So that might mean fewer videos in some times of the year. For most of it, we're probably going to be sharing travel content, because like you said, we've got so many trips coming up.
Do you want to talk about a few of the trips that we're doing very briefly?
So we have start of January, which is coming up really soon. We're going to a little cottage. Well, it's like a hobbit house in Wales is the best way to describe it. It's like a little house in a hill, built into a hill.
You guys know we love a hot tub lodge, so naturally it comes with a hot tub. It's a wood-fired one as well, which, like, if you know, you know from the last video. It just feels like you're sitting in a giant cauldron. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's not my favourite. It's like really hard to control the heat.
Yeah.
But this hobbit house looks amazing. Like, it's literally, it's like you said, it's built into the grass. It kind of like the Teletubbies house, if anyone remembers those days. And there's like a field full of alpacas right outside, which Milo's like really excited about.
It's amazing.
So we're just gonna have a cozy weekend and, you know, do some like paint by numbers, and then at the end of this month we're going to Disneyland Paris, which we're actually gonna do a whole video about, aren't we? After that, we've got some more trips planned in the summer. So you're going to Las Vegas, going to Turkey together, me and you are, but not for any surgery.
Yeah.
We just
go back.
Yeah, we fell in love with it so much last time that we said we'd have to go back. So we thought we'd do that this year.
I was going to say you and Milo are going on a theme park trip to Barcelona.
Oh, we are, yeah, can't forget about that. It's Germany this time.
Oh, okay.
So every year for our anniversary, we go to a different theme park in Europe. So we're going to Phantasialand in May. So we'll be vlogging all of that. And then in September, the most anticipated trip of them all, we're going back to Disney World in Orlando, which I'm like so excited about.
Cannot wait.
Like already, and like now that we're in January and it's like this is the year that we're going to Disney World. In fact, we're going to both Disneys. And I just feel so like lucky that we're able to travel and like do these things.
Me too, yeah. Even if we don't know what we're doing with our life, really, at least we know we've got all these trips to look forward to.
Yeah. So we hope you guys do stick around for our journey in 2025. Yeah, we've got loads of exciting things coming up. And we hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave us a little comment. You could even tell us how you think that your 2025 is going to go, what you're trying to manifest or set goals for this year. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video.
Now I realize it was always supposed to be.